Children in the first 3 years of school in England will get free lunches.
Yes, the government says that the result of this could be improved student concentration and performance, as well as saving parents up to £400 a year. However, the scheme has received a mixed reaction from teachers and parents that we spoke to at Goddington Primary School in Kent.
We don't have the infrastructure to deliver what I'm being asked to do. I have two problems, the size of the kitchen and the size of the hall. In total, we're probably going to have to spend about £7,000, maybe £8,000 putting in various measures in order to meet the costs of this initiative. And of course, if I was able to keep that, if I was able to keep it safe for the year, it would go on the education of the children.
The school hall we have is not sufficient. It's not big enough to seat everybody. The upper school children will have to eat their lunch in their classrooms.
From the workplace, it's not ideal to sit and have your lunch at your desk. You'd encourage all employees to get away from their desk, have a break, and I think the children should have the same.
My reaction to Nick Clegg would be a very good idea, very badly initiated.
Well, joining us now is Francesca Storm, who's a parent from that school. Good to see you this morning, Francesca. There's lots of reasons why this seems like a great idea, giving free school meals to children from those first 3 years. But why particularly are you against the policy?
We're not against the policy in itself. We're against the fact that it's been brought in so quickly and it's only from reception to reception years 1 and 2. We want to know why it's not all of the primary school children. I understand there's funding and what have you that needs to be done. But it's been brought in so quickly. Our school doesn't have a large enough hall or kitchen to get the extra children fed. So we're now having to petition towards the council to ask for funding to make these changes because there is no room to get the children through.
Which years are your children in?
I have a child in year 2 and 4, so I have one that's eligible and one that's not.
And yes, that's an interesting situation then. So are you going to be paying for your year 4 child to have school meals, or will they be bringing in packed lunches? How's this going to affect things at home?
They will probably have to bring in a packed lunch, but if I did pay for a school meal, there may not be room in the hall for them to have their school meal.
Because already they're stretched, having to provide it for all of the infant children.
So how would you like to have seen it implemented?
I think it should have been phased in over a year or 2, maybe longer. And I think that it should have been sort of done by year, so that we can see if it works, basically.
Do you back the idea of free school meals for these children? I mean, as we were saying, the government says this is going to improve the nutritional standards in schools and also it's going to help children's performance.
Yeah, totally behind them for that reason. But they haven't thought of the implications of putting something like this in place.
Well, the Deputy Prime Minister is coming in a little bit later on. If you could speak to him, we're going to speak to him. What would you like to say?
Can we sort of put the reins on a bit, perhaps? Can we have some extra funding given to the schools? I know there's schools worse off than Goddington Primary School with no kitchens at all. But we need funding, we need help, and we need time to get it in place. 20 seconds for a child to get in the hall, get their meal, is not enough when you're 4 years old and you're given a load of choice. Our choices are being taken away at school. We're having to give them, just sit down, eat this meal, off you go, because we haven't got time to get 400 children through the school hall.
Takes my 6-year-old half an hour to decide what colour socks he wants to wear, and then to try and carry a tray of food as well in 20 seconds. It's too much pressure.
Too much.
So. Francesca, thank you very much for coming in, and we'll put those
you.
thoughts to the Deputy Prime Minister a little bit later on.
Lovely.
Yeah, talking to him after 7. Thank you. Now,